All right, welcome to the Phillies segment. Now we just got done a Flyer segment, that's why we're in the same shit. But it is Bryce Harper Day here in Philadelphia. Thank God for some pop. But we've been talking about it now forever. LJ wants to follow me around with a video at this point just to get my reaction, just in case God for fucking bid he doesn't sign in Philly. But we're gonna go over what's happened in the last few weeks, mainly the last few days, for the Philadelphia Phillies. So mentioned it's Bryce Harper Day here in Philly. They are meeting out in Vegas right now. This is the second time that they're meeting with Harper's camp. First time is obviously at the winter meetings. We've heard a ton of reports from national media saying he's going to be a Philly throughout since game 162 last year.
Just fucking put pen to paper, Bryce. Spares the angst.
Thank you. Just do it. Do the thing. We will take you to Morton's Steakhouse. We've already said this.
How many trips to Morton's do you own by now?
I just got like 15, 16. I don't know. I am going to be so broke, but so well fed. It's going to be ridiculous. But conflicting reports. I wanted to get your take on it real quick. We obviously follow almost all the same people, both locally and nationally. Is it even worth listening to any of the rumors or reports that are coming out at all from any of these people that are, credible sources?
I look at the credible sources, who cover baseball on a national level. The Ken Rosenthal's, the John Heymans, guys like that. Anything that they put out there, they're generally pretty damn reliable. So I trust them with what they're saying. The local guys, not so much. It's more so just spreading rumors and trying to get stuff out there for the sake of getting stuff out there. But anybody, any of the big national names, if they put something out there, I trust it.
I'm kind of at that point now where I sit there and it doesn't matter who's sending out the tweet, who is on the MLB Network or MLB TV, what articles I'm reading. I just don't care. I don't believe any goddamn thing. If someone comes to me tomorrow, if Heyman comes to me tomorrow, shakes my hand and says, Bryce Harper's going to be a Philly, you can bank on it. I'm going to be like, fuck you. Until I get the actual announcement of him with a contract in his hand and a Phillies hat, and he's taking that seat down at Citizens Bank Park in the basement there in the media room, and he's saying, yes, I'm a Philly. I just don't buy anything right now. Doesn't mean I'm not getting super excited and super hyped. I certainly am. But it's gone so. He's definitely a Philly. He's definitely a Philly. He's definitely a Philly. He definitely wants to be a Dodger. They don't like Philadelphia. Him and his wife don't like Philadelphia. They don't like how they've been treated here. Oh, he wants to be a Yankee.
What the hell happened to the Dodgers? Apparently, they're no longer in play.
I don't think the Dodgers were ever truly going to be in play. Sit there and make a phone call, but they can't commit dollars to him that he's going to command and that Boris is going to command.
Or was that big deal where they traded away Puig to presumably try to clear space to bring him in? I guess that was just a smokescreen, or I don't know what they were doing there.
I think it was probably more so to land another starting pitcher. They had a plethora of outfielders to begin with, and Puig never. Like, while he truly was the heart and soul of that baseball team, his stats and what he was able to do consistently on the baseball field was almost never worth the headache of what he did and how he behaved. So to me, they were just trying to bank on what value he had, and just, again, clear up some space there. Probably a Kluber deal is what they were looking at. That's my thought. But who knows? So beyond stepping away from the Bryce Harper thing before we revisit that, because it's basically what this entire show is going to be about. Manny Machado. So it's been said now that it's down to us and it is down to the White Sox. And then naturally, because people have to say this shit, there's a mystery involved. For the sake of argument, now, I don't truly.
That is just a smokescreen. I don't think there's a mystery team involved.
That's just agents doing agents work. That's all this is. Just trying to drive up last minute stuff. I do believe that he truly wants to be a Yankee at almost any cost. So I think a lot of this is probably, and I don't know that there's been a single show. So this is not an original thought. I don't know that there's a single show that I've listened to or a single reporter that hasn't echoed that same or similar line of thinking of like, how do we get the Yankees back in play? You know, and they just went out, they signed DJ LeMahieu. Everyone was saying, obviously, this means that they're out on Machado. And then Corey Seidman comes out and says, I don't know that they think that they are out on Machado. Signing Machado could be more about 2020 than 2019. Like, you don't know. You know, but I think that third mystery team, I don't know that there's anything legitimate about it. But let's just play the game, just play the game. If you had to pick another team to put money on as a true legitimate contender, as a mystery team for Manny Machado, who are you putting on?
I'd start off with a team that he finished last season with, the Dodgers.
Really?
I would.
Interesting.
I think that, the fact that he already played there, he played in the World Series with them, I think that they might at least think that they have some sort of leverage in terms of bringing him back if they want to.
I'm gonna go with the Yankees. You know, specifically because I do believe that the Yankees, if anyone is going to get a true deal on Manny Machado, it would be the Yankees. You know, and I think that if they came back at him and they said, hey, we're willing to do a 6-year deal. You know, I feel like they're the one team that could probably get that done, you know, for a lesser cost. So just playing the game there with the Machado thing. But the interesting thing to me comes down to who the fuck wants to play in second fiddle Chicago White Sox? That doesn't make any damn sense to me. So this entire weekend is lining up to. So I actually put out a tweet. So I had said the weekend was lining up that I said Bryce Harper was going to sign somewhere in the afternoon or the evening, early evening in Philadelphia, and then overnight we were going to go fucking crazy, call up Manny Machado too. He's coming in. But with just us and the White Sox, I don't necessarily fear not coming away, at least with one of these guys, but now possibly two. What are your thoughts on potentially signing both of these guys in the next week or so?
You know what? I think it's pretty likely to happen. I know that I'm more sold on Harper coming here. I think that I don't want to say it's a done deal, but I think that it's like probably a 90% chance it's going to happen at this point. Machado, I think that we're also the most likely team to bring him in. I think that the aggressiveness that the front office and the ownership has shown in the offseason is eventually it's going to pay off. We just need to wait until I think it was MLB The Show was going to break the news with their video game cover of who Bryce Harper will be signing with. So I'll be looking forward to that.
On fire.
That's a hell of a business move for them, by the way.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Look, I didn't even know the video games had their own goddamn Twitter. And then I start seeing this pop up in our feed, and I'm like, apparently I got to follow someone. I look at it, I'm like, damn, I'm not alone. There are millions of people sitting there following a goddamn video game just to wait and see. I'm sitting there hitting refresh, waiting to see the jersey that Bryce Harper puts on. So good for them for just owning the baseball world right now. We are all just waiting for you to break that news.
Talking about taking advantage of a situation.
Oh, brilliant business. Brilliant business move. So of the two of them, you think that there's a better than not chance that we get both?
Absolutely. I think that we're almost definitely going to get Harper. I don't want to say it's a done deal. I don't want to jinx it. And I think that we're more likely than not to land Machado. But if we're only going to get one of them, it's going to be Harper.
So I'm feeling basically that same logic right now. You know, I think that they're going to be in the unique opportunity right now that, just like you, I think better than not chance that we walk away with Bryce Harper this offseason, which was the thought and plan for the last several years, really, around all of baseball. This was the ideal fit. This was the team in the market that could handle that contract, you know, and give them a chance to win. You know, let's not diminish that. But I do believe that we can sell a very unique sell to Manny Machado where we can sit there and say, hey, we're not going to give you 10 and 12 years, but I'll give you 4, and you're going to re-up in free agency. You can go to New York if you want. or we're going to be winning championships here in Philadelphia, and we can have this conversation again in 4 years and pay you then. So while I don't think that we would get a discount on the money end, I think for a short-term deal to allow Manny Machado to revisit free agency prior to hitting 30 again, holy shit. We may have to pay the man $38 million a year over the next 4 years, but fucking do it. So I think there's a better than not chance. That we not better than not. I think that there's a fair chance that we come away with both. Coming in. Harper's biggest competition, or the Phillies' biggest competition for Harper, seems to be the Nationals. So I have been pretty adamant about saying that just can't happen, and we can just apply logic to that situation and scenario and say we don't ever have to discuss this again. But here we are on a video segment discussing the possibility of Bryce returning to Washington. What are your thoughts on the possibility of him shocking baseball, shocking the team that brought him into baseball, and re-signing there in Washington? What's your thought?
Honestly, I think that he's just using them to up his asking price a little bit. I don't think he has any real desire to go back there. He made some comment. I can't remember exactly what he said last season, but he did make a couple comments that kind of alluded to the fact that he wanted to play elsewhere this upcoming season. So I'm pretty skeptical about his chances of actually ending up back with the Nationals. I think he's just using them to, like I said, up his asking price a little bit.
Yeah, I agree. I just don't see that with all the moves that they have made, with all the payroll that they've already been committed to in the previous few years and in this upcoming year and the years after that and the players they have to sign after that, I just don't see it logically making any sense. While he may be a generational talent, the Nationals are in a rare position to not fucking need. They have a crowded outfield in their own right and prospects that haven't touched the MLB level yet. That will they be Bryce Harper? No, but will they be damn good baseball players? Probably. They don't need that right now. So to commit, like I said, they put that 10 years, no buyout clause, $300 million, and that was all we're going to do. And then naturally they say, oh, well, we can revisit this talk. I don't think they can. It just doesn't make sense to me from a business standpoint or if they're going to pay him, it makes sense for Bryce Harper. But for the Washington Nationals, it just doesn't make sense.
Also, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for Harper in terms of his production. I mean, Washington's a pretty notorious pitcher's park down there. Not the friendliest place for hitters to play at. Whereas coming up to Citizens Bank or even playing at Yankee Stadium, he's gonna put up much better numbers playing in one of those two ballparks, being they're so friendly to hitters.
Did you see that report that came out today that if he would have played his home games at Citizens Bank Park last year, he would have added 12 home runs to his total?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's hilarious. Like,
just imagine putting up those numbers in a full season there.
Oh my God, it's hilarious. Like, it's laughable. I don't understand how what organization can compete with things like that. To the guy who, to me, looks like he wants to be the face of baseball for the history of the game, you're allowing him the prime opportunity in ballpark to sit there and achieve those numbers and goals. What else do you need to do to sell this? Perfect.
I think the biggest thing for Harper, though, he's going to be focused on going to a place where he can win a World Series. Because that's pretty much the only thing that he hasn't done at this point in his career.
Yeah.
And he probably feels as though the Yankees and the Phillies have a better shot at being competitive and contending for a World Series than the Nationals do.
Certainly more than the White Sox. The Nationals, like I said, some of their moves, if they work out, that team's still pretty damn good. Is there any team outside of Washington, and theoretically the White Sox, but that's just hilarious, that you could see same thing as Machado sweeping in last hour and saying, hey, we want to offer you this? Is there anyone that you fear in the game right now?
Well, I know I mentioned the Dodgers for Machado. I don't think there's any other team that's really in play for Harper right now, although if I did have to pick one, it would also be the Dodgers just for the fact that they had mentioned interest in him, up until about a week or so ago. Yeah, maybe they come back and try to swoop in and snag him, although I don't see that happening.
There's so many lefties in the lineup, it just doesn't make sense to me. Um, so with both of these players, we've also heard these reports coming out that if the Philadelphia Phillies do in fact sign one of or both of them, that they're going to really ramp up the interest in Dallas Keuchel and Craig Kimbrell. Two guys that I have from day one been saying, let's fucking not. Not saying don't sign both of those guys because I don't want these two guys here. That's ridiculous.
I would for Keuchel at the right price.
Keuchel, I would give the Arrieta deal and I'd move on in life, but this guy wants 5 or 6 years, not 3 years. So Keuchel, he just doesn't excite me whatsoever. And I don't trust him. I know that our defense has improved and will improve with additional moves that will be made, but Gene Segura, I don't know how long that guy's going to be able to play shortstop. Our outfielder is what our outfield is right now, and Bryce Harper is not an amazing outfielder either, defensive outfielder, and we got worse at first base. Not that really means a whole hell of a lot. But this is a guy who people put the ball in play off him more than almost any starting pitcher in baseball.
Yeah, it's definitely not the Dallas Keuchel of 2015. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, he's not like goddamn anybody out. I just think this is a difficult park and a difficult defense behind him to maximize the value of Dallas Keuchel. So to me, I question that one. I question that one quite a bit. And Kimbrell, who is just, I don't know where the hell this dude's from. Like, send his ass to the moon. He thinks he's worth $100-some million for what? I'm sorry, you're a closer. At the back end of this, you fell off last year. I don't understand where he's coming up with this value and all these years and all these dollars committed to him. It just doesn't make sense. And we're so heavy on the bullpen right now anyway, we're going to have to move around from some of these people. So to me, I would not like either of them in a Phillies uniform. But is there anyone else that you would love to sit there and see after these potential 2 moves of the Harper and Machado thing are announced, if they are announced, and if they are Philadelphia Phillies, anyone that you want to immediately go after, or are you kind of okay with sitting there and riding out the Nick Pavettas and the Vince Velasquez's and the Jared Eichhoffs and riding out the Odubel Herreras?
You know what? For this season, I'm kind of okay with just sitting there and not spending any more money. I think that like I said, if we can get Keuchel on an Arrieta deal, like you alluded to, then we should pull the trigger on that. I'd absolutely say no to Kimbrell. But if the Eagles, the Phillies, I'm thinking about tomorrow already.
Same.
If the Phillies, if they go out and they do what they need to do with Harper and Machado, then I'm okay with them just standing pat after that.
Yeah, I think there's the only trade I would make is a trade that is probably unlikely at this point. Is the Mad Bum trade. I would love Madison Bumgarner here. Saying that for a while. It seems like for 2 years.
He's good for starting a fight every once in a while.
I just love Madison Bumgarner, and there's like almost no one in baseball that I would trust in big games more than him. And he's uniquely we can with DJ LeMahieu off. We could probably ship Cesar in that trade. Fucking great. Get rid of him, open up the door for Scotty Kingery, and then I can have a whole other podcast show about how great Scotty Kingery is going to be. So we are a pro Scotty Kingery podcast, so long as
never have to hear L's opinion on that.
Shoot him to the moon. That's what he's going to say. But there will be some. And look, that guy is right about a lot of shit in sports. It drives me crazy. They're literally
he's right about everything with the Eagles, like literally goddamn everything with the Eagles.
It's insane. So this is one where I'm hoping to God he's wrong on, but the guy's almost never wrong. So we'll see how that works out. But before we wrap up, we got some NFL football going on tonight. So any final thoughts you have on the Bryce Harper thing, on the Manny Machado thing, or anything Philadelphia Phillies related?
Just kind of a thought that crept into the back of my head as we were talking. I wouldn't be totally surprised if, say, they sign Harper and then maybe they decide to hold off on Machado and they're thinking long term. Maybe want to throw some money Mike Trout's way in a couple of years.
Yeah, people have been saying that, and we're not going to be able to trade for Mike Trout. I don't think that he's going to force his way out of LA. I think he's way too much of a good character guy. But unless they throw an ass load of money his way, this is a guy who definitely looks like he wants to be in Philadelphia, right?
I mean, he's from Philly.
From just outside, he's from Jersey.
Goes to every damn Eagles game he can.
So, I mean, that would be super, super. An outfield with both of them, holy shit.
Buddy with Carson Wentz.
Wow, and hopefully Carson's still our goddamn quarterback.
Somebody needs to train Carson to be a fucking salesman.
Oh, it's ridiculous. But just to close out last segment, just be sure to rate and review us on iTunes. You can do it on Stitcher, on Spotify, SoundCloud, Spreaker. Obviously, the YouTube channel. You guys can subscribe to that.
Give us 5 stars.
5 stars, Rob will hunt you down. He'll throw all 175 pounds of you at him.
180.
180. All right, solid. Someone's lying, but that's fine.
Actually, I am 180.
God damn.
I legit just stepped on the scale this morning. 180.
All right.
On the dot.
All right. Well, Rob, look, now you should be fucking scared because he's obviously going to kill you now. But be sure to check out our website as well. We do have articles coming out. Rob just had one come out. LJ had one come out the day before. It is www.alwaysnextyearpodcast.com. And again, you can search the Always Next Year podcast on any of the platforms I just spoke of before. Give us a review, rate us, whatever you want to say, and give us your best takes. We'll announce some of those on the show. But you got anything else?
Just that 180 is mostly beer gut.
Yeah. That's probably accurate. That's why we're chest up on these videos. Can't see. He's got Cheetos on his belly button right now. All right, solid. We're going to get to watching some NFL football tonight. We'll be back with some segments coming on Tuesday or Wednesday, and we'll post them up on Thursday. All right, so we're going to sign out for the Always Next Year podcast. It's Rob. I'm Shane.